Welcome to another month of Fiction Kitchen, makers. This month we're heading to the Northern Kingdoms, following a trail across Temeria and into the capital city of Vizima to track down the secret of the chicken sandwich. The recipe for this sandwich comes from the Witcher Kitchen, a Witcher fan site recreating authentic recipes from the games and Netflix series. I've adapted this recipe a bit to fit my needs, but I'll link the original recipe in the description below as well. To start, let's gather our ingredients. We'll need chicken breasts, of course, as well as your choice of mushrooms, and any flavorful bread such as rye or sourdough. We're also going to use mushroom stock, garlic, Dijon mustard, honey, a lemon, mayonnaise, parsley, and paprika. Let's start by mixing all our marinade ingredients together in a pan on the stove. Heat on high for at least 15 minutes to let the mixture reduce down to a liquidy paste. Make sure to stir this regularly. Once it's all combined and reduced down, pour the marinade into a bowl and let it cool to room temperature. Next, we're going to prepare our chicken. I don't like my chicken being too thick on my sandwiches, so I'm going to slice my chicken breast in half very carefully. Remember when you're working with chicken that you don't want germs to spread, so be careful not to touch anything else and wash your hands regularly. After slicing my chicken, I'm going to tenderize it. I put both halves into a sealable plastic bag and pound it with either a meat mallet or a rolling pin until the chicken has reached a uniform, even thickness. Doing this can sometimes cause the chicken to spread out a bit wider than my bread. If that's the case, I trim off the extra bits to cook separately. I can use those in another sandwich or in another meal. When the chicken is sliced and tenderized and the marinade mixture is cooled down, I'm going to let the chicken soak in the marinade for at least 1 hour in the fridge. You can let the chicken set for longer if you want a stronger flavor, but I'm only going to do 1 hour because I'm hungry and I want to eat soon. While I'm waiting for that, I can prep the next steps by slicing my bread, if it's not sliced already, and cutting the mushrooms into thick, even slices. Then, I'm going to make my parsley sauce. This sauce is simple to make. Just chop up a handful of parsley and mix it into 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice until you get a nice runny sauce. You can also add a bit of salt and pepper to taste. Store this in the fridge so that it's cold when you need it. After your marinade has been sitting for an hour, you're all ready to cook. Add a tablespoon of oil to a non-stick pan and wait for it to get hot. Then add your chicken breast. Cook for about 4 minutes on one side, then flip to the other side and cook for about 4 more minutes. You can brush the chicken down with some of your extra marinade while it cooks. Then, add a tablespoon of water to the pan and cover with a lid. This is to stop the marinade in the pan from burning, as well as to make sure the chicken cooks evenly with a high ambient temperature. After a minute, remove the lid and flip the chicken over to see if it's done. You want it to be a nice golden brown color, and if you're like me, you want the edge to be a little burnt too. When it's done, set the chicken aside on a paper towel or drying rack. In a separate, smaller pan, start toasting the mushrooms until they begin to sweat. When you see the mushrooms leaking fluid, transfer them over to the first pan, which should still have some marinade left over at the bottom. This is to limit how gummy and rubbery the mushrooms feel, and to let them pick up some of the marinade flavor. Sprinkle salt and pepper over the mushrooms, then transfer them to a bowl or plate before they burn. The last step in the cooking is to toast the bread. You can do this in the same pan so the bread picks up some of the marinade flavor, or you can toast the bread in a toaster. Finally, it's time to put it all together. Take 1 piece of bread and cover it in a layer of parsley sauce. Then add a layer of mushrooms. Add 1 slice of your chicken and coat that with some more parsley sauce. Then top with the other slice of bread. Yum! There's enough here to make 2 sandwiches, perfect for yourself and your adopted ward. Even just one of these chicken sandwiches is great for restoring vitality, and they'll help keep you warm through the tough winter months ahead. I hope your sandwich came out just as great as mine. We'll see you next month.